Alright, Soul Silver 17 here. Let me first, like usual, I made a thumbnail, did not own the pictures, not pay video. Alright, okay. So here's the thing. I was recording, and then I basically stopped it by accident. I, hit stop, and, I paused it, but then I hit, stop, and that stopped the recording. So, yeah, I'm kind of a little bit mad at myself. But, anyways, so I'm making this new part. And, let's just get into this. This is, some stuff are going to be the same, some stuff aren't. It's just mostly not going to be much combat situation until near the end, and I'm going to try and make this at least over an hour, but not much. I have to wake up early, and it's already 2 something, and I'm probably going to get no sleep anyways, so yeah. But anyways, let's just get into this. This is what Bell can shot Monarch, part 5. So, we basically have Bell after that just, relaxing, sitting down, as then he basically, Egress says, "Are you going to the dungeon, my lord?" And he goes, "Yeah." "Why?" He goes, "I have a feeling you need to be prepared. Anything will happen in the dungeon, the lower floors." He goes, "That is true. But this is a good opportunity to get the other soldiers up, to your level, and you and the Silver Walls to get even higher." Which he does, which basically, Igor says agreed. So, after that, after he says that, Bell says, "I'm gonna get some sleep, and so that way we can head into the dungeon early tomorrow." Tomorrow, basically, which, Igor does nod. Not nod, says agreed. So, Bell sleeps, and the next day, he's saying goodbye to Hestia. The salamander wool, basically, the fireproof red poncho. That's what I'm calling it. I don't care. It's basically, he's wearing it. He goes, "Man, Edna would not let me go to the lower floors if I did not wear this." Which, well, Hestia says, "Yeah, she doesn't know what you have, so it's okay." He goes, "That is true. But still, it's gonna be quite difficult for her to even know, even believe I even have something different than what the god's blessing is." Which she nods. But anyways, he does look at Hestia. He goes, "Hestia?" Which she goes, "Yeah, Belle? If I'm not back by this, afternoon or later tonight, or even tomorrow, act like something's wrong, okay?" In which she asks, "Why?" He goes, "I want no one to know about this, remember?" She goes, "Oh, yeah, I gotcha, I will. I'll act like something happened, okay?" In which she says, "Thanks." And then he says, "Anyways, I gotta go meet up with Welf and Lily. See ya." As basically he runs away. Hestia just smiles, and she goes, "You really have become stronger, Belle." So, after that, we will technically go to Sun Jin Woo. And he goes, and basically he's kind of somehow watching Belle. He goes, "Your normal life that you try to, your normal life basically will soon end. It'll be quite difficult for, anyone to hide that power. I'm surprised you lasted this long, Belle. Now, let's see how far you can keep it hidden." As then we go to Belle, Lily, and Welf. So basically, what happens in, the anime, what happened, Hestia saw a friend with his, members of it. Basically, the ones I'm talking about are, give me a minute, Mikoto, Kigusa, Oka. So yeah, those, and some random people. But anyways, so yeah, that happens, and we technically just have Belle, Lily, and Welf killing some hellhounds. That's a legit name. The guy, name. I'm not kidding. Watch the anime, you guys. So, just want to say that. So because of monetize, hopefully. Uh, but yeah. So what happens is while he's facing the hounds, um, he decides to at least turn 12 of them into his soldiers, and so he does kill 12. But before they could even poof in the smoke, he says, "Arise." And then after that, he basically told them to fight their own, allies. In which they gain 5 levels. And Wolf says, no matter how many times I see that, I'll never get used to it. Which Belle kind of chuckles, you're like, I know what you mean. But then Lily says, Master Bell, you must hide them, just in case. He goes, oh, right. So, as he basically calls in the Hellhounds back, he then... by the way, the Hellhounds have red eyes and black fur. And look like a regular animal, but they spew fire. Yeah, so basically, while Lily's collecting magical crystals, a rabbit, a red-eyed, white fur rabbit appears, as then basically Lily says, hey, look, you! As Belle, is thinking, what the? As then, Wolf agrees. He was like, yeah. He goes like, that does not look like me. That is whatever it was called. And that little fight scene will happen. So, meanwhile, a group of adventurers that went into the dungeon, that before Hestia talked to her old friend. I do not know his name. I don't even have his name. So give me a minute. Basically, their god is Takamachazuki. Yeah, I failed his how to pronounce the name. I don't care. So yeah. So basically, they are running away because their ally is wounded, and they're basically Mikoto, Chikusa, and Oka. Yeah, they are basically running away, and they would be passing Bell and his group while they're fighting. They are not having troubles at all. But the swarm of them are basically making it rough, time to fight. As then, that Bell notices them run past, as then he sees one of them is wounded. He goes, so if they're running, that means there must be monsters nearby. So, after they get past, basically they hear the hounds run toward them, as Lily says exactly the same she says in the canon, as Bella just sees a pathway and he goes, this way! As they run. So, in this case, he calls out Frost, Egress, and Monkey King, as basically they go and take out the enemies. After that, he goes, seems like Frost and Monkey King got a little bit more experience and level, basically. As Egress nods. Which, then he was like, hey Lily, Welf, how about this? We go to floor 15 and basically I have them clear out everything. This way they become even stronger, get more levels. Also, by the way, he has 94 shadows because of the Hellhounds. Or should I just call them Hounds? Because of, 96. Basically, Bell even knows he gets the experience and they're only 12. He's like, only 12 experience overall? Man, that sucks. Whatever. So, Lily and Welf say, we don't mind. I mean, if we basically have them keep wounding the enemies nearby on the lower floors, we can basically handle the rest. Which Lily goes, yeah, it's an easier time and less of a burden. Which Bell does put up a thumbs up. As then he calls out all his shadow soldiers, And he goes, alright, for the next couple of floors, you guys are going to clear it all out. Hope you guys don't mind that. Which, they all look at each other and nod, no, we don't. Basically, saying, he goes, good. Alright then. After you slain all the monsters, after you slay a monster, grab the crystal and bring it back to us. After we meet up, got it? As all of them nod. As, he says, now go. As all of them run away besides a group of bears. Which he just looks at Tank and his men, and he's like, Tank? What's wrong? And he basically looks, and Belle's looking, he's like, oh. Yeah, not enough room for you guys, huh? Which, he nods, and he was like, don't worry, I'll basically call you out personally with your men when we get to a bigger floor. As all of a sudden, Tank, gets small and looking up with big, sad eyes as Belle goes over and bends down, pats him on the head, saying like, there. It'll be okay. As Lily goes like, why is he so small? Which Wolf just says, I don't know. So after that, they're basically clearing out the floor. And Lily's like, Master Bell, do you think this is okay? He goes, what do you mean? About the dungeon. Is it going to? He was like, probably not. I mean, it definitely did collapse in one area, which the monkeys did get, taken down, but they got revived. Man, this dungeon really thinks it can take me out. Well, take my men out. Fat chance. But, yeah, I know what you mean. But this is the fastest way right now they can, get experience. So, which Welko's like, puts his hand on his shoulder. He's like, doesn't matter to me, man. I mean, you need it, and plus, as long as we get to the floor we want to get to, that'll be fine. Which he does not. So, after that, they, they are basically going through the floors. They're taking the time, making sure they, going through them, searching it, making sure, trying not to cause any of a scene, and even when they get to the, I'd say it was the 11th floor, or I think it was the 11th floor, or the 13th floor, I don't know. I'm gonna say it was the 12th floor they're going to. No way, it'll be the 11th and 12th. So it should be, 13th floor they're on, so they go to the 14th. He basically tell his soldiers, which you got to mention, to disappear as soon as you see anyone, which they do not. So yeah, and the exact same thing happens. Because of this, they have a lot more breathing room. They can rest, relax a little bit, take watch if someone needs a nap and such. So yeah, but give me a minute. Okay, so what happens, is, like I said, take breaks and relax and such. So that happens, and nothing really. The collapse did happen, but they perfectly were fine. They basically then get to the 15th floor, and it's, where Lily would have had to take out that bag and, because it stinks and such. But she doesn't have to this time because of Welf does not have his broken leg. And, they can move pretty easily now. And so, which, it was like, alright, so everyone's pretty good. Everyone, got their levels increased and such. Nice. And I'm almost near max. I'm almost near one more level. So, guys, you guys will be on standby helping out Lily and such, along with, alright, which they do not. But he says the main forces are going to be out on the front lines as in basically Tank and his men come out. Well, Tank comes out with the other bears. I found out Tank was a girl, so yeah, the bear's a girl, or / guy. I don't know. Anyways, so basically though, he says, "All right, Tank, go basically start leveling up," which, Tank nods and runs away with the forces. So, oh yeah, I even got Berserker even leveled up too. So basically, Berserker though comes over and he asks if he could go, which he goes, yeah, go, have fun. Which he doesn't nod and run away. So Lily and Wolf and Belle do start killing monsters, getting the crystals and such. And in this case, they basically are getting down there pretty easily. And it's been like a couple of days, which Hestia asked if Belle and his party come back, which Edna is saying no, which then she starts getting worried, and she basically makes a request. So, yeah, I mean, that already happened. That scene already happened. The whole entire, apologizing to Hestia as such, which she's thinking, they really don't, I don't have to really worry about Belle. He's probably leveling up his soldiers. So, and Welf and Lily are probably getting more experience too. So basically, that all happened, and then, well, our boy, what should I say, our god, Hermes, does his usual thing. Basically, says he wants to help out a good friend, which then Hephaestus says ever since, they got to the mortal world, he never even helped her out before. We go like, come on, I really do want to help her out. That's what he says and such. So yeah, Hestia wants to go see Belle, see if he got any stronger, along with, well, Hermes wanted to go and see Belle for, in person. So, after that, little thing happened. That was like when they got to the 14th floor. No, it happened when they got to the 13th floor. No, 14th floor would make more sense, yeah. So, 15th floor, they're on. They're kind of going deeper down, and the enemies are getting tougher, but, haha, they're getting stronger. So, pretty amazingly stronger. Quicker than normal. In which, well, when they are getting to the 16th floor, Belle began this weird feeling. The more they go down, the feeling is getting stronger. It's like you can sense the floor boss, but it's not. It's something else. Something more powerful, basically. And so, they, are going, defeating all the enemies they can, and, well, they get to the 17th, I think I said the 16th floor, so, they get to the 16th floor, they do exactly the same thing. Lily and Wells' experience are phenomenal now, they like triple S, probably for Welf. For Belle, he would technically be, well, if we have Hestia do the calculations, well, he's going back to double S rank. So yeah, I mean he's gonna be in the double S rank by the end of this. In magic, probably in strength and endurance, dexterity. I mean he does get hit, but the monsters are not doing crud, but still. But yeah, anyways. When they get to the 17th floors, this is when the feeling's stronger. And he doesn't know why. He keeps following this feeling. And Freya has been watching him. And she's thinking, now, because if he's not, well, like normal men, I really would like to see him and talk to him in person. I know I shouldn't, but I must talk to him in person, but not with the disguise. So, yeah. So everything's kind of going to canon with Hestia and Hermes and that group. And also, let's not forget, a new character was introduced. And the new character was Alphys was introduced. I basically thought it was a P when I heard. And, whatever. It's basically Alphys, was introduced and such. So yeah, and Ryu is with them too. So, when, like I said, they get to the 17th floor, Lily's worried about the boss, but Bell is, in a trance as Igris comes out. He goes, "My lord, is everything alright?" He goes, "Yeah, but something's up. Something doesn't feel, I don't know. It's not the boss. It's way more beast-like. It feels like," as all of a sudden they hear a howl as Belle immediately grabs Lily and Wealth and goes behind a corner as Igris is also there. As this beast is walking, through, it's a big giant wolf basically. White wolf with long fangs, red eyes, basically starts to, sniff around, and then basically some minotaurs come around, and when it sees them, it, immediately kills them, which kind of shocked because Belle couldn't even see the movement very well, which Lily and Wealth was shocked too. As the wolf howls, all of a sudden something opens up and it starts walking through it. This portal, as when it closes, they come out. In which, Wealth goes like, "What was that?" Lily says, I don't know, I never seen a wolf like that. In which Belle just doesn't know what to say, but Igris says, "That must be the beast wolf." I mean, the beast monarch. Not wolf, but the beast monarch. Which, Belle goes like, "Wait, you mean like the shadow monarch?" Which you are. Yes. Let me explain. So he explains about the Monarchs and how Sun Jin-woo took them down. He then says, "So I believe most of them have been reincarnated into here, maybe as humans, demi-humans, or, as beasts themselves." In which, Belle's eyes aren't shocked as he goes, "So, even though I don't have to go for the same stuff Jin went through, his enemies even, was reincarnated here? How?" He goes, which Igor says it must be because of him leaving that, his world. Where the Shadow Monarch goes, some enemies will follow. Okay. So, Belle just sighs and be like, his name was in the red. I still had to get stronger then. Which, Igris does not. He goes, "Yes, he's been killing most monsters and probably even other adventurers. Unfortunately, we can't take him out. Our forces are too weak. He may be a floor boss or a secret enemy on the floor." Which, and Lily goes like, "Wait, if he can open up the, teleport around the place, what does that mean?" Which, basically Igris says he can be on any floor, be any boss before, we leave. It does not matter which. Which Belle goes, "Yeah, wait, what's this?" As you see something, as he walks over, and it turns out it's a claw. And it's bigger than Belle's hand, may I add, because it's a big giant wolf, so yeah, it's a claw of the, Shadow Monarch. I mean, not Shadow Monarch, the Beast Monarch. As in it says, Beast Monarch Claw. Or, Beast Monarch Claw. Description: the beast is, feral and wild, does not think, only reacts to instincts. Which Igor says, that's a good thing. Well, it looks like the beast won't be able to recognize you. Probably sense your power, though. If it's mindless, then it's better off that way. Which Bell goes like, really? He goes, yes. The former king of mine, killed him brutally, may I add. Which Bell goes, I see. Alright then. Over near the floor boss, which Igris does not. He was like, good. I'll call you guys when I need it. I call you guys when I need you, which Igris does not. So, Bell looks at them. He was like, you guys ready? Which they go like, yeah. Wait, do you want us just to... which Welf just asks, are we fighting the boss or are you? Which goes, I have the army. Do you guys want to? Which he goes like, nope, I don't want to die. So he goes like, I'm sorry, but me neither. He's like, that's fine. I can handle the boss by myself. What's the boss name anyways? She goes, which Lily says Goliath. He was like, Goliath. Maybe I should make him one of my soldiers. That'll be nice. Which she was like, what? Which Wolf goes like, you're crazy, right? He was like, no, but the problem is though, I won't be able to use him much, so that's a thing. Ugh. Alright. I'll be taking care of him, you guys run to the 18th floor. Alright? Which they both not. So, when they get to the floor boss room, well, yeah, he's there. He goes, as basically, Bell just like grins. He basically takes off both daggers. By that I mean, he's basically using the He's basically not using the Hestia's dagger yet. He's using the Barak's dagger and the Kazaka's dagger. As he goes, let the hunt begin. So, he starts slashing away at the Goliath monster as Bell and Lily are running away. Not Bell, as Welf and Lily are running away. Going to the 18th floor. In which, let's just say this. Bell is doing a lot of damage very quickly. He's using sprint. He's basically just even using stealth. In which, right when Goliath loses focus, he uses firebolt. And after that, after he comes out of stealth, he goes, no guys! As all of his shadow army comes out of his shadow. And, well, he basically doesn't know why, but he wants to try this. He basically says, Igris, throw me your sword! As when he does, he grabs it, and then all of a sudden, he gets a notification. Which, it says, skill activation. Soldier Mimic. And he goes, what the? As all of a sudden, he feels this overwhelming knowledge go into his head. He goes, is this Igris's skill set, moves, and what's Dominator's touch? Okay, I'm gonna have to write that down real quick. Both of them. As Zoe goes like, so he's running towards Goliath. He jumps up in the air, and well, let's just say this: Goliath was being distracted by Monkey King and Frost, and then he basically cuts Goliath's arm, and there's a big gash, which he screams out of pain. He then uses Dominator Touch to squeeze Goliath's mouth, in which it crushes the jaw. In which Igris is shot by this, and then he throws the sword back over to Igris. Igris catches it and then slices off, Goliath's hand. And then Bell has the daggers out still, and he just starts, using sprint and just starts disappearing from sight and moving like so fast. It's like multiple strikes are being hit. and basically 3 people are watching. As then, all of a sudden, Bells, starts having light coming off his hand. As then he basically puts both daggers away. He grabs the scabbard, and then he says, "Light slash!" And, well, he basically makes a slash of light. You know the damage was? It took out Goliath. That was the thing. He took out Goliath with that because the sword was overpowered. And yeah. So and Bell's like, I just killed him. Darn it. Why? But as then he looked, he says, at least I had enough experience to level up. I really want him in my party. I'm not my party, my shadow army. So give me a minute. Okay, there we go. Okay, I just basically did what I needed to do. So, yeah. Anyways. So, when he basically calls back his soldiers, tell them they did a good job, they even leveled up, to basically where Igris is technically, but Igris and the Silver Fangs wolves are basically 70, and everyone else is about roughly 60 to 50 range. Well, technically they're all in the 60s, one of them is just 59. So yeah. And when he looks back, he sees eyes. Yeah. Eyes, Tiana, and Tona. As he was like, eyes? It's been a while. She goes, yes. You took on the boss. He goes, yeah. And pretty amazing, huh? She goes, yep. I'm impressed. All by yourself. He goes, yeah, I know I ain't. It wasn't as glorious as you, but, well, it wasn't really by myself. Which Tiana's like, yeah, how do you have that many, soldiers with you? Which he goes, magic goes up? In which, well, technically, then, I think I said Tonya goes like, basically, it's good to see you again, Mr. Argonaut. He was like, Mr. Argonaut? Why? And she goes, you remind me of that hero, basically from my childhood, and plus you look so cool when you're facing the Minotaur. And then, she grabs his arm, and he's like, And then her sister, I forget which one's which, basically, so I'm going to go with the Tonya is the one that made him blush, so, she does exactly the same thing. He does blush and basically looking away, and she goes, how cute? He was like, I'm not cute. And then all of a sudden he gets that feeling again, but it's different. It's not like a feeling of threat, but he goes like, to Tiana, he's like, can you let go for a second? She was like, well, why? So he's taken off technically the salamander's wool poncho, and he puts that in his inventory real quick, which they're like, wait, where did it? As when he's walking over, he does see the crystal for the final boss, for the 17th boss, but he sees something near it. Something folded up. He goes, what the? When he goes over and picks it up, it's a jacket. And he goes, what is this? His item description, Shadow Monarch jacket. Defense, unknown. Skills, never be harmed, never be poisoned, never ever, basically, be touched by anything that will kill. Will be protective always. Passive ability. If harm, regeneration. 1.5 seconds. And Bell just kind of grins at this. He goes, and then Sunjin goes like, so that's where it was. Huh. Well, at least Bell has it. So Bell starts putting it on, and it does go over his armor. He goes, fits like a glove. In which he's walking towards them. By the way, the sleeves are short, so he still has like the armor such showing on his wrist, for his arms and such. In which, let's just say, Eyes is kind of, blushing a little bit along with the two Amazons. You see Tiana and Tonya. So he was like, come on, let's go. Well, she goes, what about the... And he goes, oh, right. So he goes over to the crystal and just picks it up. Legit. And just starts walking with it. I mean, he's 100... His strength is legit 152, I believe. Let's just double check that. Correction, 121. So he can lift this up. And he takes it. How is that? He was like, just can. Come on. So basically, he then goes down to the 18th floor. And when he gets to the Loki Familia, campsite, he basically puts in the crystal. And he goes, whew. Man, that thing does get heavy after a while. Which everyone's just looking at him. Lily and Welf come over. And he was like, so, wait, where did you get that? He was like, oh, this? Found it after I killed the boss. Pretty cool, huh? The defense on this is pretty strong. It's unknown. Which, they're just talking. People are listening. They don't understand how, and they don't understand what that is. But, well, Finn comes over and goes like, hello there. You must be Bell, Chronal. He's like, yes, and you're Finn, right? He goes, yes, it's good to see you again. He goes, thanks. He was already came to the second floor and survived it. He was like, it was pretty easy. We actually got a big hall, but we already took care of the boss, so but he may respawn soon, which technically Finn does not. He was like, yes. Did you just take it on all by yourself? He was like, yeah, somewhat. Don't worry about the details, though. I have a question. How much money can I get for that? As he pointed over to the magic crystal that he has from the from basically Goliath's, basically crystal. He was like, wow, that's bigger than what we got. I mean, you could probably get about insert Veil mount as he's in shock along with Lily and Welf. Because it's like, you could say billion range or million, which he was like, wow. Plus the amount of crystals we have, monster crystals, magic crystals, we have on the way here. Man, this is awesome. In which he chuckles. So, since they are not being harmed, they do have that dinner and they do the whole entire celebration, basically of them getting there and such. But instead of being harmed, it was like, we have 3 brave adventurers. First time in the dungeon. They have came here a long way and just in the amount of days it took to get here. Admiral, strong and fearless. Welcome here and treat them well. So basically when Bell eats the floor 18 fruit that was given to Eyes, he eats it and he goes, sweet, really sweet, but bitter taste. Which then he was like, wait, you don't like it? He was like, no. I mean, my taste has, basically became different, so I like sweet things. And then he finishes the rest, which really is thinking, oh. I wanted to eat it because of, you know, crush. Yeah. Lily has a crush on Belle. Can you blame her? He's actually Sun Jin Woo and Lich. He looks like Lich of Sun Jin Woo's powers. So, yeah. So while they're eating, Goliath came back. He also found out about the crystals, about the night and day thing. So when they get there, I mean, while they're eating, Tiana and Tonya come over and they ask him, "So, how were you able to kill the boss by yourself? And the Minotaur? What was your basically levels? Well, not levels. What was your status?" He's like, last time I checked, it was all S ranks," which that kind of shocked Eyes and them, and in which she then like lifts up her ear, hair flowed behind her ear because they actually asked him how. He was like, training, working out, sleeping, eating, 24/7, sometimes just in the dungeon, and don't sleep. That's all. Which that kind of shocks everyone. He was like, and they asked, "So that's how you got so strong really quick?" He was like, "Yeah. Working out a lot too. It helps." In which, I mean, the one who will grab his arm just realized he has some muscle on him, and so it's like, okay. And then we hear Hestia do her normal screaming. As then, when Belle gets there, she said about Goliath, like no one told her Goliath was going to be there. As then Belle just says, "I took care of him. I didn't know he was going to be back so quick." And when she goes, "Belle!" So, what level are you? I was like, only one level up. But the rest of them are, well, high. Basically high enough. Almost near my level, some of them. But she goes, "Good. Crystals? Magical crystals?" He was like, "A lot." Just nice. Then everyone else coming, Hermes introduced himself. He basically says Miss Ryu, and then she tells him to be quiet and such. And basically Hestia is not going on to Eyes about her being there and such. So, and since she was not worried about Belle, she does not jump on him and stuff. So yeah. So technically, after like that, they do see the people that ran past them, and Belle goes like, "Oh, it's you! I gotta thank you guys for like helping me out on that." Which they go like, "Huh?" He's like, "Yeah, we were really coming here down to the 18th floor anyways, so just going on, what really did not matter." Which, well, Ryu was like, "Huh? You were coming here, but it was dangerous." He was like, "Nah, it was pretty easy, relaxing. We didn't have to use really much of our resources." Which she's like dumbfounded, along with Alphys. Which Hermes like thinking, "Huh? Why's that?" But he goes, "But did you guys see anything on the way down? A big giant wolf." Which but everyone just says no. He goes, and he thinks to himself, "That means it must have sensed me in the dungeon. He was already on that floor because the floor boss. Doesn't matter. I'll kill him. I'll kill this beast Monarch. Maybe. It's only a beast. It's an actual beast. Probably the name that it was given. That was the name it was given, but it could have been the previous life name. I'll look more into it later. But for now, so after they go to the tent, Makoto tries to apologize, and Bella says, "Seriously, we weren't harmed or nothing. Basically, I took care of it. No one was harmed. We basically came down on our own." But he goes, "But still, we basically had you, take all of that on." He's like, "Yeah, but hey, it helped. We got more crystals for money. for veil, so we'll give you some veil for the hounds, alright? But she was like, what? So, Akko, wait. Yeah, Aka, wait, Oika, and Kagoso, wait, do I Chitsuma? Not Chitsuma. Oh my god, my mind is not thinking right. Chikusa, yeah, Chikusa, and Akko, Aka, Oika, yeah, I think it's Oika, are kind of shocked by that. And so, what happens is simple. Everyone basically falling asleep. Bell doesn't. He basically goes outside, and he's just looking at the sky, which eyes comes over, goes, I can't sleep. He goes, nah, I don't really sleep that much. It takes me a while though too. She goes, oh, okay. He goes, why are you here? He just asked her that, and she goes, was worried about you. He goes, well, you don't have to be. She goes, I know. You came a long way, and it seems like there's a distance between us. He goes, huh? What do you mean? She goes, it seems like you're stronger than me. Very strong. And you'll just keep getting strong. How is that even possible? He goes, eyes, why are you... She goes, I don't know why I'm like this, honestly. I just don't want to be left behind by you. In which Belle's kind of shocked by that. Hestia is there listening, and he goes, well, I don't know what you mean by being left behind. You're stronger than me. In my eyes, at least. But she goes, huh? He goes, well, I don't know you personally. I mean, like that dog said, Beta said about if I had a crush on you when I came up to ask you out, you wouldn't even, say anything, would you? Which, her eyes widen because he remembers that, she thinks. It was, he's right. I don't deserve to ask you out. Because I don't even know you. Which she was thinking, he must think he's not worthy. But then after he says that, she goes, huh? He goes, I don't know you well enough to even consider asking you out. That's the first thing of basically, fall in love with somebody to get to know them. I don't know you're basically the sword princess. You're part of the Loki Familia. You're strong. You basically became level 6. And the fact is that, you're also very beautiful. Which she blushes from that and she doesn't understand why. Because, but overall, I don't know you. What your likes, dislikes, favorite color, friends, book, favorite book and such. I know none of that. So, I can't, say I'm in love with you if I don't know nothing about you. So, I want to get to know you. But first, I'm trying to get strong enough so that way I can. It makes no sense. But I'm still weak. How much I want to say I'm strong. There's a lot of things in this world we don't know that anyone can be stronger than anyone, and we wouldn't know about it, right? Which she does not. He was like, but anyways, Hestia's probably mad at me for calling you beautiful, so I'm gonna get going. She's watching us anyways, along with Lily. Which Hestia's like, he can sense me? And then Lily's like, oh no. And so he comes over, walks, opens up the bush. He goes like, hey guys. Which they like, hi. Which then I say, wait, there's a town here. Which he looks at and goes like, a town? He goes, yes, made by adventurers. We can go into town and see if you want anything there. He's like, huh. That is true. Hey Lily. She goes, yeah? He goes, do you want your money? Along with wealth? I mean, to give to wealth and such, or you want me to give it to him tomorrow? She goes, I'll take my money. He goes, cool. So basically, he takes out her bag of money, throws it to her. Not throws it, hands it to her. She goes, "Thanks, Belle." And she runs away. He goes like, uh, "All right, well, come on, goddess, let's get some sleep." She goes, "Right." So, while Belle is leaving with Hestia, Eyes, goes to her chest, put her hand, near her heart. She goes, "What is this feeling?" So, along with basically Belle and Hestia, she goes, "Why do you have to call her beautiful?" He goes like, "Just how I feel." And she's a little bit upset. He goes like, "But everyone's beautiful in their own way, including you." She goes, "Huh?" He goes, "Look, goddess, I care for you a lot, and I would never want to make you upset, because I feel like I did something wrong, or I feel awful, basically. So, don't be upset, okay? I care a lot about you." And basically puts his hand on her head and he pats her. He goes like, "You're one of you're one of the best people I ever met. And then one of the very first people to ever accept me for who I was. A weakling. And yet you brought me into your family, not your family, your familia. So, thank you. Really." And he smiles and she blushes a little. He goes, "Anyways, night." He walks into his tent. As in Hestia walks back and she's thinking, well, at least he's saying he cares about me a lot like usual, but it felt different. So yeah. So basically, everything from canon up until that, up until a certain point will go the same. They get into town, Belle bumps into a guy, he basically says squirt, basically what you did at the pub last time. That stuff, and then the whole entire, um, Hestia buying something, perfume, and Hermes, like, in the bath scene what happened, but the difference is this one with Hermes. When Belle is fallen, he basically throws his, like, dagger, and then he used Dominator's touch to pull himself, but he also activated stealth. Only one who saw him was Eyes. And when basically Hermes is looking around where he is, Belle's on a tree holding a branch. He was like, "You God, really?" So he jumps and kicks the tree, which then Hermes is like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa," and he falls into the water. As then Belle, gets onto the tree, looks at Hermes. He goes like, "Serves you right, Hermes." But he's saying this to himself. And then he realized he's seeing all the girls, and he's like, and he looks away. He was like, and his face is red. He was like, "I'm going to apologize later." And then basically, I says, "Where's Belle?" He was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "I saw Belle fall, and then he disappeared. Where is he?" He's like, "I don't know. He's the one who probably kicked me." Hermes says as Alpha says, "Well then, you're the one who basically was about to try to get him in trouble." As then all of a sudden a rope appears out of nowhere. He's like, "Belle, help me!" In which I see something going through the trees, and then jumps off a branch, is coming invisible, and then lands on the ground, and then starts walking away. And she goes, "He won't help you. He's like, he betrayed me." So after that, he's walking around, he basically just runs for a little bit, because his daily workout, he realized, and he just does it. But after he does that, I mean, he didn't realize, but someone saw him doing it. It was Ryu, and well, he basically had to take off his, I would say, shirt, because he didn't want to get sweaty because of, well, he had to go back up. So Ryu just couldn't stop staring. That's all I'm gonna say, because it's like, how? So when he realizes it, he's like, he puts back on his shirt, he turns around, and he was like, "I saw nothing." But she goes, "Huh?" He was like, "Just," and she goes, "Oh, yeah." So after that little awkward scene, the whole entire scene would happen about her telling about what happened to her former familia and her comrades. and how she killed them all and such, and said, walking past them, that she's no good, killer elf, and then that, all she's gonna do is betray and lie to him, and, his trust will be broken with her. He goes, so what if you killed? And she goes, huh? Basically she turns around him, and he's still looking at the grave. He goes, you want revenge? That's gonna happen. He looks, to her, and he turns around looking at her. He goes like, so? Just because you kill every member of Amelia, it doesn't really matter. They're still the same Ryu as I know. You're still kind, and you're still, always the one to say something that's blunt to the matter. And she goes, what do you mean? He was like, you're still the same. And I'm glad you live so I get to know you. And I don't care how many times you betray my trust. Or, actually, I don't believe you ever can. Besides, you're not the only one who's killed. But she goes, huh? He goes, I killed 2 people. I let one live. They were about to leave Lily to die, so I took 2 people out and sent a message to the other one before he ran. That was it. They're just nothing more than puny. Not even worth my time even fighting. Which, he says, so, you're a killer, I'm a killer. We're both murderers. But that does not define us at all. You want revenge for your fallen comrades. That is sweet and poetic, but also very foolish. But it's normal. You probably cared about them so much. And it's fine. It's fine you want revenge. But you were reckless and stupid and you learned from it. So, as he basically lifts up his hand and he's patched on her head. He goes like, so don't worry about it, okay, Ryu? Which she does, then, grab his hand. He goes, you are the most kindest person I have met, and you deserve the most respect. And she's saying this while blushing, and he goes, I'm only kind to the people that deserve it. Or I trust. So, come on, let's go back to everyone. So, yeah. After that, we would kind of skip to the next day, in which everything would go to the same. Beta is yelling at Belle because he saw, Ainz without, basically in that scene. But the thing is, he goes, yeah, but Hermes, dude. And, say it, don't spray it. Like, legit. Wait a minute, I have a quick question to ask you. He was like, what, tomato head? Hey, tomato face, tomato boy. He's like, do you have a crush on Ainz? Which his face gets a little embarrassed. He's like, no. He's like, really? Well, maybe I should ask her out. He was like, no. He's like, jeez, touchy for someone who doesn't even like her. But she was like, look, like you said in the bar, all guys like her, and what happens is basically someone like you went up to her and asked her out. What do you think she'll say? She'll say yes, and basically he's like, who knows? Anyways, though, be safe. Basically he gets taken away by Tina and Tanya, and I say exactly the same thing. He goes like, be safe, Ainz, and don't let the boss get to you, okay? Which she does not. So, Hestia does get captured. Belle does find the letter, and oh man, he is pissed. So after basically, I'm just gonna kind of skip in this part. He runs over and he sees the guy where the location was, and they get to the same area. And well, same stuff happens about him, basically gonna be taught a lesson and such. And if he loses, he has to leave everything there. If he wins, he gets his goddess. And then when he basically breaks the crystal, he just said, "I'm gonna make you suffer." As then, basically after Bell opens his eyes, he goes, "And I'm gonna make you wish you were dead." As when the guy tries to punch him, Bell just legit catches the punch and starts wailing on him, which, well, Hermes did not see this coming. And I mean, Bell is wailing on him. It is not even a fight for this guy. He is just getting beaten. It's like, people, like, his friends started to, like, try to come in, and Bell, like, stopped beating him. Like, he broke the helmet that was keeping him invisible, and when Bell, like, fist was bloody, they just see him looking at them, and whole amounts of magic and bloodlust is being shown. As they all stopped in their tracks, the cavalry was coming, and they just hear the guy screaming, because Bell is not killing them, but hurting them a lot. And when they see Bell doing, oh my god, they see him punching, kicking, throwing him into a wall, basically breaking an arm. It's just kind of brutal. And well, Lily does get Hestia, and what she sees is everyone on the ground hurt. And basically Bella goes like, these guys really need to get stronger. So yeah. And then the whole entire thing with the... So the whole entire thing with the boss will happen, the floor boss becoming like a level 5 thing. Yeah, that happens. Him coming down and such, knocking out all the paths. Bell legit just says, "Looks like I can't hide my power forever." And some people are kind of confused. And then, Hermes is seeing this. He was like, "What is he?" And then all of a sudden he says, "Arise!" As all his shadow army comes out. Bell then pulls out 2 daggers out of nowhere. And he was like, "Alright, guys, we're gonna take on that, Goliath again. He seems a lot stronger than this time." Basically, which, Iris does not. He was of white name. Now he has orange name. Because, yep, that means he's gonna be a little bit difficult. Wait. Basically, he looks like Tank and his, forces. He was a Tank. Gather up people around the area and get them out of the way. Monkey King. Fight off any, basically, monsters. Tank, help him out. Alright, which Tank does not. He goes, Frost. Berserker. Try to round up most monsters around and take them out, and try to, like, fight Berserker. Alright? I'm not Berserker, I mean fight Goliath, which they not. And then basically Igris looks at him. He goes like, "And Igris?" He goes, "Yes." "Come with me." He's like, "Yes, my lord." And then he basically looks at Welf. He goes like, "Welf, do what you need to do. Mikoto, protect the goddess." What? Basically, what? Not protect the goddess. Do whatever you can. And Lily, help out with anything you need to protect the goddess. I mean, help out anyone who needs it. Yeah, protect the goddess, which they nod. And basically, he also like said, Ryu was like, "Also, we're gonna help those guys out." Which she goes, "Really?" He goes, "Yep, that's how we do things." And when she goes, "And what is this?" He goes, "This is the power of the Shadow Monarch," in which no one realized. Which, I mean, Belle did not realize, but someone came. And when she heard this, she was in shock. As then, well, Rivia says, "So, you are the Shadow Monarch. It's interesting." In which Belle looks and he sees Rivia, as all of a sudden ice is starting to form around her. And he goes, "Wait." as Igris gets in a fighting stance, he goes, "Get back, my lord!" As all of a sudden, the ice shards get sent flying, but it's overhead as two monsters get pierced by it. And she goes, "We're not enemies, Belle. It was in a different life. So tell me, how do you have the power to shut out Monarch?" And he goes, "Sun Jin Woo gave me the system." In which she does not. She goes, "Understand. I'm glad you have it. I'll go help with everyone else." He goes, "Wait, why are you here anyways? You were supposed to be with the team." And she goes, "Kind of overslept." He's like, "Alright. Thank you, though." Which she does not. And then she's suddenly, ice is starting to, like, cover her, and then when it breaks, she looks like the Ice Monarch, but female, sort of, like, looks like him, but female version, but her hair is white now. Ice is, cover her hands and such. And she goes, "Let's have some fun." And so Belle just look at everyone and they go like, "What?" I mean, he goes, "What?" And then it's just like, what the? He was like, "Long story short, other monarchs may have gotten reincarnated or turned to beast. It does not matter right now. Got Goliath to finish." So yeah. So basically, Belle just jumps off of it with Igris. As well, they start running towards it at top speed. And so when they get to Goliath, Ryu and Alphys is taking it on as he basically killed the enemies on the way to help out that guy that wanted to try to kill him. I mean, actually, yeah, they basically were covered enough to basically run, but they were, about to be killed, and such Belle just killed the monsters, and he basically then threw them some healing potions, and they were basically drinking their fully healed. And he goes, "You're welcome!" Basically, while running. And yeah, so, while that is all happening, Goliath is being distracted, the forces of the Adventurers Town, the Adventurers are basically gathering, and, taking arms and such. And, well, basically, it is becoming somewhat similar to a fight, but Belle is able to help out people take out, the enemies, basically around their monsters, and fight Goliath all exactly at the same time, with Igris helping. So, how does this part change? Which, yes, but Belle does get sent flying, and he does then, Akoya does, block and, get near death, and he does go into somewhat of a coma. Then Hermes says exactly the same thing, which he then gets up, takes out a health potion, and gives it to Okoya. As he takes it, his wounds are healed, which is, well, surprising him. He goes, "I owed you one, and it's repaid." He goes, which he nods. So, he takes the magical sword that, well made, as everything from there would go to canon, as then he just, starts to glow as it's, limit break, Argonaut. The Goliath is basically, getting down into the, hole, as when he basically swings it, and actually, when he runs, it's like a blitz of light, and then swings, big giant explosion of light, and half of the monster is gone. A little bit of the body is there. It's only the leg and the crystal's out, which Belle says, "Yes!" Which some people are kind of wondering. So Belle just says to him, basically to Goliath, he goes, "Arise!" He just yelled it out, in which then, even though he had regeneration, the crystal was showing, it was dead, the feet are there, was about to disappear, boom. Goliath has changed into a shadow soldier. And then basically, though, it starts to shrink down a little bit. And he's like, cool, it can shrink. Huh. And he goes level 5. Nice. No, it says grade 5, level 20. Nice. Wait, if I was supposed to be strong... Wait, it keeps going? Oh, it's level 89! Nice. Okay. Okay, it's just setting it up. As Freya was watching, she goes, "Yes! He did it!" And she goes, "It's a good thing I basically boost that, boss up a little bit for him. And basically help out my bell." And she goes, "Wait, did I just say my bell?" I mean, anything he does is always... As then she remembers on how he was protecting her in basically the red dungeon. And she goes, "He really is nice. I should tell him who I am. I don't want him to freak out or hate me. But still, I'll tell him next time." So yeah, and everyone is shocked and such. Hermes says exactly the same thing, but he's also surprised about how he basically took on the Goliath and, get the crystal and, made the shadow. Everyone's surprised too. And, well, after that, it is, it's basically time for them to get back. Oh yeah, Rivia turned back to her normal self. The Loki, Eyes asked where she was. She said she overslept. She apologized. So yeah. So, they get back over on the top side. Edna is happy to see him, but she realizes he's not hurt. And then he kind of chuckles, and basically Lily, basically takes out the bags of, what they have, basically what they have. He goes, "Also, I have two. Well, actually, I have one boss crystal." And basically, she basically sees it, and it's huge. She also asks, "When did you get the new clothes?" He goes like, "Boss fight ended, got them, got it." So yeah. Yeah, basically, I made it where he basically hit his head. He didn't take no damage, but he went to a little bit of a knocked out state. If you guys are wondering why he had that, I just wanted to have the exact same thing because I thought it was cool. How he basically was thinking about how he wanted to be, strong in her eyes, and then protect the people he care about and love, and then basically the whole entire chiming of bells, which was the limit break Argonaut, So yeah. So after that, we would secondly go to one at the pub where everyone's celebrating. Everyone's telling the tale and how he did. Rivia says about what Belle did and such. Everyone's shocked. Betta's jealous and mad. And Tiana and Tonya are even shocked for Belle. Belle basically was thinking, "I didn't level up. Why is that?" Eventually, then the system said this. "Oh, it's because there's something special being planned, and the levels points will be given to you in a way that, well, you'll be surprised. You are ready for the S-rank dungeon. Be ready, Belle Chronal." Everyone that, box disappears, he's kind of shocked, but then he smiles. He's like, "Bring it on." So, everything would go exactly the same. Basically, Belle just sleeping, and Hestia is holding his head up a little on her lap, and yeah, Elf and Lily are just looking. So, that's the end of this season 1. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys liked the video. Have a nice day, night, wherever you are. Bye.